Alright, so welcome back to Let's Create a Custom Story. This is episode 4, and since last time I've done quite a lot of changes, as I'm going to show you quite soon, which you might already notice in the desert level right here. I've done quite a lot of changes actually, and actually let me just start up the game and show you how it looks in the game to probably notice most of them. Let's see, and I will explain what I've been doing. First of all, you can notice, perhaps if you notice, there's some windy background noise. And one thing you probably also will notice is the Skybox. I set up a Skybox. I'm not sure if this is the one I'll be using, but I think it looks really good. I got a comment if I wanted to make it, if I was gonna make this a nighttime, which I might. I'm not sure. But I could definitely try to see how that looks. Although I cannot make skyboxes on Mac because the plugin is for Windows only. There might be something with GIMP, but I'm not good with GIMP. I prefer Photoshop myself. Also, I decreased the contrast on this texture so it looks a little more smooth. But it's still, the geometry is still a little visible at some points. Some places, like there's a line there and there. So I kind of want to get that done, but it wouldn't be too much of a problem if it's there. Another thing, the temple model is more detailed. As you can see, it has like this more smooth curve. Well, not necessarily very smooth if you go up close to it, but I did a beveling on it, which basically makes the edges cut off into a separate face. So from a distance it looks a lot more smooth. Up close it might look a little weird. I'm gonna have to edit the soundtrack a little bit because it cuts off a bit. Also added these blocks right here, which I actually added just now, which this one is kind of tilted, as you can see. The one in the distance is straight, and that one is also straight, I think, and this one is a little tilted because, well, it's pretty old, everything. So, and this is just gonna be to add to the effect that there is a bigger building underground. That it's not just that thing inside there, because that would be very small to work with, but that there's a whole like construction underneath this sand. So I'm not sure if this is enough. I'm probably gonna have to add something more to give you the effect that there is something under there. But I'm not exactly sure what to add. Like, I can't just add a lot of blocks or walls because, well, I don't know. I'm not sure what to necessarily add, but I'll need to add something. This is actually a very big model going down under there. As you can see, I also added these, which are patches of sand. These are just here to add to the details of sand being blown to the side. But since they're not the same color as the other one, I might want to do some changes to that. If I want to make this more orange or this more light, I'm not certain. Also, the distance, I made the fog a little thicker. So as you can see in the very distance over there, it's completely yellow, which I'm not certain if I actually like that. And also I don't like the transition I added here, where I basically took this plane, or this model that the model the level is in, and copied it 8 times to surround the whole area, so it looks like it extends a bit more. The skybox is not too clear, and it's kind of pixelated actually. So if I get the hold of another, that would be good. Or I could just remove the mountains completely. That could actually work too, because these are kind of like rocky sand mountain thingies. So also added some sand, as you can see. I can't actually walk to this, but just some, or not sand, I mean grass. Just some shrubs as well, some places. I also I can't walk any further than this because I decreased the mobility area, so added some blocks around here so you can't walk too far. Here is, oh, the sand is actually floating. I mean the grass there. It's actually floating, I didn't notice. So gotta do something about that. They look a little bulky. I don't know if I'm gonna keep them there at all, but here's another block. I think I tilted that one a little bit too. Put some in the corners of the temple, as you can see. Not in this one yet, but yeah, I can walk through there. I couldn't before. So yeah, that's mostly it. The shadow, I really don't like how the shadow is, because I replaced the point light again. It was first the box light, then point. I replaced it into a spotlight because spotlights give you the option of having shadows. And this, I think, is floating too. So adding shadows, which I kind of want to have shadows, but I don't know if I want to have a shadow like this, because this doesn't even look good. This looks awful. I don't even know how it appears like that, because the point of light is, well, I guess it's up there somewhere. Guess it makes somewhat sense, but it just looks really ugly. Maybe I want to decrease the specular map on this model, because I don't think sandy brick stone like this shines very much or reflects that much light in the way that this. As you can see, it's very shiny, which makes it seem kind of humid, I guess. I don't know. More grass here. Yeah, one of the things that I didn't like by duplicating the plane is that they don't transition next to each other, so everything looks... It's obvious to see that this is cut, and it's difficult for me to edit it to actually work without making a completely new one. So I'm not certain what to do about that. Some more sand right here. It looks a little bulky right there too. Oh, and I can jump really high apparently. And another block here. And before you were able to just walk up the model, which it's not too big of a deal, but I kind of didn't want that. You can still do it from the side, as you can see. If you just walk up, you just walk straight up. At this point, I don't think you can, but you can jump up. I kind of don't want you to be able to do that because it feels kind of unnatural. So temporarily, I put a block box right here so that it's just a straight block. So you might be able to jump up, but you shouldn't be able to. Yeah, to like just walk up. I suppose you're able to jump at some places. I'm not sure. There we go. Yeah. Well, that's where the stairs are anyway. And I fixed the problem with the, well, somewhat fixed the problem with the stairs being hard to walk up by just putting a diagonal block box right here. So there's a diagonal block box that you're actually walking on. And might want to do something about there, although it's not that big of a deal. And yeah, so I made another wall model, which is on the back. It's basically just like the doorway, except it's curved like this. So it's just another extra model if I need that. And then we have the inside here, which is very empty. It's just, it has this model, which I'm not sure if I like the texturing on it, and I don't know what happened on the top of it, because that was certainly not there before. But I don't know if I like the texturing on it, because it's kind of poorly done, I think. But I might use something like this. Perhaps if I decrease into like a very small thing that is merged into the wall, it could look a lot better. Because, yeah, it would be less noticeable, but it would still be there as a decoration. But yeah, that I think is mostly it, what I added so far, and I hope you can't notice that noise right there. It's very loud, actually. Let's go and find that door that I made last time. I added some things to it, or changed some things rather. Let's see, let's place it. Oh, gotta select it. Grid. What is with the texture? Is it because it's so far away? I am not sure about that. But I don't want the shadow texture to be how it is right now, because that looks really ugly. Alright, so we have that there. Actually, it's gonna be there. So now it's in there, and if I am going to be using this, then I'm probably going to be using it inside, where it's where there's a ceiling up here, so that you don't actually see this thing move up. But let's reload the map here. And here we have the wall. Actually, oh wait, I cannot interact with it until I add the player interact callback. Move object is what I added in the script. So now we gotta reload it again. Alright, now I can open it by touching it. And it has a little crumbly noise there. The lighting is kind of weird right here, but I don't know. Maybe I want to add some kind of halo around there that cuts off a bit, maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah. So I think that's mostly what I've done so far since last episode. That is. I was kind of busy this weekend, so I didn't work too much with it. But let's just close that for now, and let's see what's next to do here. We have a lot of things to do. Actually, but I'm kind of starting to get a pretty good like, this is still the test 2 map, but I'm probably just gonna rename it to the actual intro map, because I've done a lot more here that I would do in that one, so I might as well just use it. Here you can see the block box I added, which I might add to the next 2 layers as well on all sides. I'm not sure if it's a little big, because as it looks like that, but if it isn't there, if it's like in here, then you walk up a little bit, so I don't know. But if not, I'll probably figure out something. If not, I could probably just make the whole thing into an entity and create a collision box for it manually. Anyways, I'm not gonna have the door there. I'm not sure what I'm actually going to have on the top here. I just placed it there for now, but I'm not sure what I'm gonna have on the top here, but I want to have some sort of entrance downwards. So going down, what would we do to make that? I could probably make like a hole in the model if I need to do that. I can cut out some hole so we can go down there, but or I could just like have a trap door, but I don't want to have like just a regular trap door, because that would be very very generic. I want something that is a little more special, a little grander in a way, an entrance that is a bit more special. So I'm not sure, and also this little cube on the top looks kind of off because it's a lot bigger than the levels. So I don't know about that. What would this look if it was huge? Maybe I should make it bigger. Maybe I should. I don't actually know. What if I made that thing bigger? Would it look better? Because it is very small right now. I could make it bigger. Maybe I'll do that. But we're gonna have to figure out if you're able to see it from up here. But because of the haze, you might not. So yeah, this is what we have so far. I'm starting to like what we got. These, let's move them down, or maybe delete them, I don't know. And let's just delete them. And these we need to move down so they're actually standing on in the sand. And these actually have collision boxes on them, which they shouldn't, but since you're not able to walk to them, it doesn't matter. There we are. Okay, like that. And wait, is it deeper in the middle? I don't think that matters too much. Maybe these need to be moved down as well. Nah, I don't think so. We have some of them over here. Do they need to be moved down? I think they do, yeah. It's very dark over here. So I'm not certain what to do with the lighting. The lighting is kind of tricky in this area. If I am to actually click on the spotlight, it's a very big spotlight. And let's go on here and take off the fog for now, just so we're able to see anything in this map. Alright, so this is how it looks so far. It looks pretty cool actually, but the spotlight, the shadow it adds is just so low res for some reason. Is it because it's that far away? Let's see. No, it doesn't look like that's why. Because, well, it could be actually, because it looks higher res, but it's still pretty low res. So for example, if this was here, if that was there, Let's put it there. The shadow is like kind of sharp here. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to just completely disable the shadow. Just because I don't want to use it if it doesn't look good at all. Like if it's awful, I don't know if I want to use it. Let's go back up there. So that's how it looks right now. I could just simply disable the shadow on the spotlight like that, but I mean without the shadows it looks kind of weird. I kind of like the shadows, but I don't like the low res shadows. So I don't know. And they're even set to high resolution. I don't even notice a difference if I put it to low. High res. And everything like that. So I don't know. Spot fall off. I'm not actually sure what that is. But okay. Whoa. Let's see how the map actually looks without the fog, because I haven't tried that in a while. And as for the skybox that I made, well, I didn't necessarily make the texture for it, but I found a texture I could use for it. Oh wow, look how dark it is in the distance. It looks pretty cool here, but now it looks like a very calm day, and the windy effect doesn't seem to be used so much. Ah, glitchy lines. Well, not too bad, but it doesn't actually seem to be that windy because of the haze is gone and such, but probably gonna keep that. It does kind of hide the shadow. I'm not sure what to do about the shadow. The shadow is weird. I tried to place the spotlight in an area where the sun would probably be in relation to where the character is. But of course, if the character walks behind there in the corners, it's not going to be where the sun is, because the sun stays in one location because it's a skybox. But the, well, as in it stays in one location on the map. So if I walk forward now, you won't notice that I'm actually walking forward, even though I'm pretty far away from where I was, because the skybox is always a certain amount of distance away from you, but the spotlight stays in one location. So it's not like I can attach the spotlight to the sun in the skybox. Oh, I completely forgot to remove that up there. Maybe, yeah, because as you can see that one move because it's actually still somewhere up there. That's the billboard of the sun, which I don't know, I'm probably not gonna have to keep if I'm gonna use this, but if I do set it to nighttime, I could use the moon from Machine for Pigs. It's probably gonna be invisible if I go in here. Whoa, where am I? Oh, I'm out of the map almost. Yeah, well, I could use the moon from Machine for Pigs, because they have a moon in there. But if I'm gonna make it nighttime, I'm gonna have to give it a reason to be nighttime, because if you're gonna be in a desert, the first thing you'll think of is like a deserted, sandy area at daytime where it's really hot. So if it's nighttime, people are gonna think, why is it nighttime? So therefore, they're gonna have to be explained why it's nighttime. But I mean, that's not difficult to do. We could just say, you should travel in the night because the heat won't be unbearable, or something like that. I mean, that's a pretty simple explanation. Just something simple. It doesn't need to be advanced at all. It could just be like that. It's just that it needs some explanation. And as you can see, these models are pretty big, but they're not very advanced at all. Yeah, so I also have a spotlight here just to increase the amount of light because it's kind of dark. So there's the spotlight, no, the point light, and the spotlight here. The diffuse color on this should probably be a little yellow. Well, if I'm gonna make it yellow, then I don't know, like that. Probably a little weird, maybe, I don't know. Ah, that should work. But this one, yeah. Is it lighter with the fog on? Yeah, it actually is. It is a lot lighter with the fog on. Maybe the fog is a little thick, although in the game it's not as thick. Let's put it to 75. So it's like somewhat thick, but not very thick. And the distance, as you can see, it's easy to see where these transition. Even if I put this one up to the same level, which is about there. Well, if I snap it, it's probably going to be more precise, but it's very easy to notice the transition. Well, actually, right there, it's not that easy. That's actually pretty good. But most of the time, it's pretty easy to see where it transitions because this one was made as a square, it's a complete square, so it's easy to see the shading kind of change there. But if I could at least get the left and right side done properly, then, well, as you can see, this would obviously not work if it wasn't the same level, so I'm not sure about that. But we got something. We've gotten pretty far with this level. But now let's see if we can do something more, something new, instead of me just showing what I've been doing for the whole episode. Because how long have I been recording? 20 minutes already. So okay. So what should we do next? The entrance. Maybe I should add some more walls. Maybe I should do some models. Although that's nothing you haven't seen before. I could show you a few models that I'm making, but I don't want to show all of them because, I mean, it's the same kind of thing over and over. So, oh no. Does this Skybox, no, the box cut into the stairs there? They actually do, but I don't think it affects it much. This might actually be on top of it anyways. Well, as for the Skybox, yeah, you can go in level settings and you can go in Skybox, select active and a texture. On Windows, this actually works by putting it in there, but on Mac, it does not work. You can put it in, it'll work in your editor. See if I put it in here, because as you might have noticed, the Skybox doesn't show up in here, but if I do select the file, which I have in here, textures and map, and what is that noise again? Here's the Skybox DDS cube map. I can select it and it will display in the map again, as you can see. But as soon as I save the map and reopen it, the Skybox is gone. So I actually posted a thread on the Frictional Games forum to see if this was a bug, because I think actually it might be a bug on the Mac editors, because it doesn't. I had a lot of trouble with this. It wouldn't work at all. So I went on the forum, posted a thread there, and actually got an answer that worked, which I wasn't certain it would work, but it actually did, and I kind of forgot that there is actually a script called set skybox texture, which, I mean, I didn't forget that this existed, but I forgot that it did something else than this one. Like, I wouldn't think of using it if I used this one. I would only think of using it if I was going to change the Skybox, but by using this one, it actually does enable the Skybox, so just put in the name there. Mine is currently called Skybox 01, which probably isn't that good. I should probably name it something like Skybox_desert or anything, but I'm not sure if this is the one I'm going to be using anyways. And play music, I added the desert ambience, which I gotta have to edit a little bit. Other than that, I'm going to delete the cache file, because cache files can screw you over if you're doing changes. Now, what do we do? I didn't actually plan what I was going to do in this video, but since this level is doing quite well, like I've done quite a lot of it, I might just start working on some of the other levels in the middle of the game, because you don't, of course, need to start in the beginning and end in the ending. Because, like, for example, when you make a movie, you would record the scene in the very beginning and the scene in the very ending, like right next to each other, and then you would edit it to cut it back and forth. So, it's not necessarily chronologically made. So I might just skip to another level that I have a certain idea how I want it to look. But one thing we're gonna need is the level door, the desert level door. I actually kind of want to make the trap door and some swing doors if I can do that too. Because I think that could be pretty cool. Maybe just like a similar kind of door to that, like this one, the one I had here, except it splits in the middle and swings. I think that could be pretty cool, but instead of having to grab it and swing it, because having a dual swing door could be kind of weird, having to grab different things. I might just do so that you click it and it swings open on its own, because I think that would be easier to maintain and less glitchy and easier to actually work in to make in the beginning, although it would require some scripting, just like this one, but nothing more than just the set move object state. So perhaps we should do that. I'm gonna have to find some textures for the other doors, unless I want to use the same one, but I don't think I do want to use the same one. What kind of textures do we have? If I go to the textures folder here, we have these textures, the cracked floor, this thing. Maybe I could make a door out of this one. I could probably, but it would be very low res, because this is a low res image. What resolution is it anyway? It's doesn't it say here somewhere? More info. 256 by 256. So that's a very low resolution. I think that's actually the same resolution as the Skybox, which is why it looks kind of blurry. And here's the sun texture, which reminds me, I want to remove that billboard way up there. Delete, save. There we go. We have this one that would not work as a door, definitely. This one would work pretty well as a floor in a better place. This thing I tried to add to the horizon, but I might not use it all. I'm not sure. Otherwise, let's go and Google and see if we can find some texture. What do we search? We need to find keywords for search words. I can't just do like door texture, because I doubt I'll find anything that works, because these will be doors that are modern. More like the sandstone door. Does that even work? Perhaps something like this could actually work. No, not that. And why are these 620 resolution? That sounds like an odd number. It should be 512 like this one, although that doesn't work at all. What kind of door do we want? I'm not sure. Usually I in a time like this, I would probably just make the model and or, well, probably not in the modeling scenario, but in a project way, I would probably just like make the thing done, and then I would decide the texture later on, which I could do. However, if you're gonna change the texture on a model, you have to reopen it and edit the texture and re-export it, which is a little difficult sometimes. So I like to get the texture selected before I export the model. Let me see if I can find something. Alright, so I looked around and I think I might just use the texture like this. I mean, it's simple enough, so he says that I can use it if I credit him, so of course I'll do that then. Instead of just having a door, a specific door texture, I might have to edit this one maybe. Maybe if I do edit it, let's see, save image. I prefer to just drag it off, but that doesn't work. But I can just download it there, I guess. There we go. Put it there. And yeah, so I'll see if I can edit this one, although first, let's start by making that model. It should be a very simple model, so I shouldn't have to worry too much about that. But actually, I might have to, like, since it's a dual swing door, I might just make it into two different objects, as in I'll just make one and duplicate it twice. That would probably be the best, I think. So let's start by placing that on cube as always, or as usual. Not always, but if you're gonna make a square object, it's best with a cube. And we want the scale to be, what was the scale of the other door? Because I want to use that. Well, maybe I'll just make alterations of the walls with different textures. That would actually be the best, probably. But I still need the same size for it. So let's see if we can open the scene. My scenes, let's find the wall temple 2. Is this the doorway? Or did I name it door temple? Well, that is the door itself. Yeah. And it is scaled Y325. So 325 should be good. Wait, this one wasn't. I think 324 was the height it needed to be, but I rescaled it afterwards into the editor. I remember, so this wouldn't be the exact resolution it needs to be. This is gonna have to be a bit difficult because the problem is I need to find where's the doorway? TS door frame, no. What did I name it? Just wall temple? I don't think I did. Oh, I did, apparently. I guess I didn't say the first one. Yeah, that's what it was. But the problem was that I don't know the size that this hole is. So let's try creating a cube and see if we can recreate that size by putting it to 0. And scale, I think it was that if I actually scale it like this, it doesn't. Oh, it actually does show now in the numbers, which is good because last time it didn't for some reason. I'm not sure why. Okay, let's about there. What could that be? That's 275, I'm guessing. 2.75 should be the exact width. And let's move it up. How far? What was it? About 1.5, 1.6, wasn't it 1.625? That's the height. Let's put the Z scale to just 0.5. Yeah. So we have that, and the height needs to be scale X. Needs to be. See, now it doesn't. Non-object space scale baked into component. I don't even know what that means. Baked into component. What is it that triggers that? Scale X. Let's put that to 3 and see what happens. What? Why did it? Nothing happen. Nothing. What the shit? I'm so confused with this. See, I got it. It was working, and then all of a sudden it stopped working. Look at the basic drag. I don't even know what kind of tool I selected now. Let's reopen the scene so I can do it again. It's very annoying. Wall temple. No. Cube. 0. There. Scale X. 3. No. Y. Actually, X wasn't that. Oh, I guess I did it wrong last time. Maybe it wasn't working after all with the numbers, but it was Y. I was gonna put 3 actually to test to see. I need to put the X one to. Was it 2.625? No, 1.2625. And X2 was it 2.75? Like that. And Y to 3.25? Nah, that's a bit too much, isn't it? Or is that actually the perfect? That might actually be it. Although it's, yeah, it's moving in the wrong direction. Yeah, I think that's the perfect size it needs to be. So, which is, oh shit. No, I saved. Oh, okay, well, at least it's a separate object. Okay, 1.625, 275, 370, 325. You know, let's just delete that and go save as so I don't accidentally save this as something I shouldn't have saved it. Let's call it door temple 2. Okay, so now we have something to work with. And I can probably not scale it because, yeah, baked into component, so that would just be dumb. Put it to 0.2. That's a pretty good thickness for a door like this. And since it's gonna have to be split into two separate objects, I'm gonna have to do the X scale in half, which half of 275 is 1.5, 1.25, 1.30, 1.3, because in the middle of 25 and 50 is 30, because 12.5 to 20, 325, 1.325, is that it? 1.325, is that half of it? I think it is. I don't know if my math skills are reliable, but I think that's it, yeah. Let's go with it, because let's see. Let's move this one in the X scale the same amount, 1.325. No, wait. Do we need to split that in half too? Because to get the amount it needs to be there. Suppose we do. Half of 1325 is 5, 6, 0.6, 0.65, 0.6, 0.66, 0.625, 0.6625. I can't actually do that. It only allows 3 decimals, which makes it not completely accurate, but it doesn't actually matter that much. Okay, so we have that door, which is half of it. And do I want to bevel it? Because I don't know if I do. I don't think I do, but I kind of want to make some kind of... I guess we could try beveling it just a little bit. Go and bevel. Instead of doing this low amount, let's put 25. Bevel. Okay, that doesn't do anything. I mean, it does something, but it's so unnoticeable. Not noticeable. Let's try beveling it there. It's very, very small. So I don't know if it's worth the extra pixel, the extra polygons for those stats. So let's put it up to 0.1. Apply. Let's go with that. Okay, and let's go with that then. So let's say that this is one of 2 doors that are gonna swing, and we're gonna have to apply the texture to it. So since this texture is like that, let's just put it into Photoshop. We could just simply cut it in half, because it doesn't need to be like 1024 by 1024. It could be 1024 by 512. I think. I don't think that would really make much of a difference. So could technically make the texture size that resolution. But I do like to keep it like a number powered by 2 in both scales, the same amount, so that just in case. But I think the rule is that as long as both x and y, or yeah, x and y, the both height and width are numbers that are in the power of 2, it should be possible to use. So let's go to canvas size actually, width 512, cuts it off like that, and now we can draw whatever we want on this. So actually, you know what, let's just keep it like this, so we can draw half of it, draw on half of it, draw the door, and then we can use the rest for something else. So we'll split this in the middle. I'm not sure how to do that. How do you do that again? Just do like this, put a ruler at 512, and simply cut it. It looks like it's more, but that should be it. So if I were to move that away, think this one, if I were to copy this one, it might actually not transition. Let's do hide. Yeah, it doesn't actually transition in the middle, but it is the same size. Okay, so let's just go back into this, and what do we want to do with this texture? Let's put it on there actually. I want to make some kind of outline to it, so simply enough we just put an inner shadow, distance 0, choke 5 or 10 or whatever, size up a little bit, just to do like something like that, maybe choke. Yeah, I could do inner glow at the same time with a different color, darker color. Actually, that might not do much difference, actually. Whatever. Satan doesn't do much. Satan is just weird. Stroke, inner stroke. If we do an inner stroke, very low, just like it out. Actually, that would just be ugly, actually. Yeah, so let's go with the inner shadow, which is at least something. Do we want to put some sort of texture on this, or does it look good enough as it is? It might actually just look good enough, because if it's just a sandstone door, they usually are very plain. And as for this part on this side here, let's copy this one over there, make it very small, and let's see, 1024, 10, no, 128. Can't do that. What did I want? I kind of just wanted a similar kind of piece. Let's put a black layer on the bottom, because like that. I kind of wanted a similar piece that could be on the side of it. So let's go to inner shadow and make it bigger. And opacity, yeah. Although I kind of want to invert it, but I don't think that would work. Let's just, it's kind of weird, but actually that's a little powerful when I think about it. Let's do it like that. Yeah. Well, let's place it there. I don't know what to do with the rest of it. I'm not too good with texturing, so I've probably said it too many times. Let's go to channels, alpha channel. Make it white, please. Select everything. Can't even do that. I don't know what. Now I can do that. I don't understand that. That's weird. Maybe there are some things I don't know, and that is, I think they make no sense, but they make sense. I don't know. Sandstone texture by Raschu. Okay, I'll have to write that down somewhere. I should probably write down the credits, or else I might forget some people, and that would be terrible. But well, then I can actually just go through the series again to look at it. Let's call it sandstone door texture. Desktop, save. Make a new actually, we have already a folder for the door, so let's go to entities, custom door. We already have this door in here, so I might as well just use the same folder for both of them, because you usually have more than just one entity in a folder. So let's go on the Lambert. Why can I not click on the there it is. Lambert, color, file. Well, it's already selected as a file because I opened the scene. Desktop, door, sandstone door texture. I haven't been naming things PT, but I don't think it matters too much in most senses. Okay, let's go create UVs and scale this one to 3 to 25. 3.2 to 3.25, 3.25, like that, and move it over here, which would be to 0. And okay, move it to 0, and that should be perfect for the door itself, for the slate part. And now let's select this side and this side. Even though the texture is a lot thicker than oh, that was the wrong one. Creates planar. Even though the texture is a lot thicker than the door is at this point. But if I place this one over here, what is that? That's not 0, that's... I'm looking at the numbers over here, because 0 would be in the very middle. So 0.1, it's about that, I suppose. 0.1 looks like it. And we gotta resize it to 1.5. Do 1.5, just to make it a little more. I don't know if I want to use a higher resolution on that side and that side, because that would be probably a little weird. But I suppose we'll go with it. Not many people are gonna look at the side anyways, so it's not the most critical part to decorate. Alright, let's do the top as well. Planar mapping. The modeling part isn't necessarily the most important, the most interesting part here. But what did I do now? I was completely the wrong side. Oh, it's negative for some reason. That's what I wanted. And we'll increase that size over there, like so, so it's similar to the other one. And the size of this is, yeah, we want it to be exactly 0.5, so that it's more accurate. Let's take away that and look at how terrible it really is. Okay, 0.5 is apparently too small because it creates a black line, so let's fix that. And let's do these corners as well. And under here, this. Let's look at the top side. Planar mapping. This needs to be 0.1, and this needs to be more than 1.5, which was that. It needs to be 1.55, perhaps. Let's see. 0.55 seems to work. 0.55. What do we want to do about these? I think we want to include them in the selection, these on the side. And then we might as well take these little corners, even though I doubt no one are going to really look at those little corners without having been told to. Planar mapping. 0.1 to in the location, and the scale 1.55. Deselect, and actually that wouldn't work if I do include that, so it needs to be a bit more than 0.55. 0.6. Does that create a black line over here? It actually does. So 0.6 is not enough. 0.65 definitely should be good. 0.65. Let's go with 0.65. And now on the sides, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, left, planar mapping, 0.1, 0.65, like so. Now we have a door. We have our door. Looks kind of strange at some parts, but oh well. It's good enough. It should suffice. Let's save the project and export the file. In desktop, door, pt door stone. Let's go with pt door stone. Well, door underscore sandstone. Sandstone underscore swing. Well, I don't know. 01. Let's just do 01. Okie dokie. Let's put the folder back in there. Go in the model viewer. Load entities. Custom door sandstone day. And that looks very strange. Re-export time. Export all. Desktop. Save as pt door sandstone 01, I think. Was that it? Put it over here. Replace file. Open it. Load entities. Custom door sandstone. Here we go. Excellent. And close that. Let's open the model editor. Doesn't matter if I open a copy, same thing. Sandstone day, open that. And this is how it is. You gotta move it so it's in a proper location. We might just keep it in. Oh, actually, that's a bit of a problem. Where do we want to move it? 0.625. There we are. Excellent. We want to create a box around it, of course. Let's create a box, which needs to be the same scale. Put it up there. 0.625. And this is approximately that. A little thicker, not too much more. 2.325. That should be perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, okay, we got it. That's the shape. I'm gonna create the body, and I don't know if no, it shouldn't have. Let's make it into a rock material, even though rock isn't necessarily what I'm looking for always. But this one should not have mass. Max angular speed. I don't know. I don't think we need to do anything about that because it's going to be a different object. So, yeah. I think this is all it. We just user defined move object, just like the other one. It's basically the same thing, except it's angular this time. And it's angular around Y, I think. Yeah, that should be it. Open amount should be about this, I think. Yeah, 90 degrees. Let's keep it like this. And static loop sound, let's go use the same one as the other door has, which is in sounds, gameplay, static rock move. Load. Save as P door sandstone. Save. Okay, so I think that should be it. Now, I guess we could try placing it up here. Go into custom. It should already have refreshed. Usually does that when you open it. Now, where is... Okay, well... Okay, we got it like this. Let's see if it works. And this might be all I have to do for this episode. I'm probably... Let's see, this is 1 hour, 1 minute, so that is with the time that I was actually looking for this texture, so which was a couple of minutes. Even though I found it several times, I actually just took me a few minutes to decide to actually use it. There. Wait. That's not it, but let's copy it, duplicate it on the other side. Yeah, that's not necessarily where it should be. It would be nice if I edited the pivot point of it. Wait. In the model editor, if I place this whole thing on the side, let's say we have this one and we want to move it over here. Yeah. Which would be approximately 0.625. 0.625. It's not. What was it again over here? It was not precisely on the side, but it was almost. It was 662. It would actually be 6625, but 662 is the closest I can get. Oh, no, not that one. Undo. We gotta select the model. 662. I just like to get this precise so that we won't have to. Let's delete that. Delete that. Go back here. Refresh. Does that put it on the side now? Ah, okay, it actually does, but the box looks weird. So if I am to click there twice and then click it again to just move it around, that should be good to go. Now we have two of these doors exactly where we want them in the location, so we don't have to carefully move them every time. Put them in there, and that should be pretty good. Let's see. Wait, is that a black line I see? Oh no. Is it on the front? Where is it? Where's that black line? There's no black line here. Not on the sides, at least. And why is that one so bright? Did I not select them? Damn it, it looks like I didn't select those exact corners. Oh well. But I see no black line, but what is this black line? Maybe it's something to do with the shading. Because... it might actually be the shading. But now, let's create the area they're gonna rotate around, because since these are rotating areas, click, we... oh damn, where did that go? We need to place an area they're gonna rotate around, or else they'll be rotating around their own center, which... Wait, if they're already placed on the sides, well, I think they both would be rotating around this point in the middle instead of here. Would still be weird, so, let's place this one where we want it to rotate. And it doesn't seem to actually fit the door. Wasn't it supposed to? It was supposed to fit the door, wasn't it? I thought I made it to fit the door exactly. Oh well, if something like this happens, I guess I could do it off camera, because you know how I'm gonna do it, so it's just gonna be boring to look at. Let's just find an area and see if we can make it rotate where we want it to be. I'm not sure where I want it to rotate. Let's go focus. Needs to be about there. That would be it in relation to the door. However, the door should be in the actual wall, so let's make it in the wall there. And let's call it area rotate _1. And let's call this door yeah, it's actually called _1 already, so this duplicate, take away the negative, which is this one, I think. Yep, and it's already called rotate 2, so we'll put area rotate 2 and _2, and in this one we put area rotate _1. Now we also need to define which direction they're going to rotate, so since they're two separate objects, I can't put player interaction callback. I'm going to have to do this every time I use these rotating doors. I'm going to have to use this specific method I'm going to do right here. Place another area, which is going to cover the door space. It doesn't need to be too precise, because I don't think they're normally going to open the doors by clicking them in the very corners. But something like this. Oh, it looks like the opening is exactly the size, a certain size, as I'm scaling it 2.75. But anyways, I'll just make a very small area right here in front of the door that they're gonna interact with instead. Increase the size a bit like that, and like that actually. Doesn't matter if it goes outside, as long as you can't interact it from places you shouldn't be able to. This one we're gonna put the player interact callback. So move door, let's put that in there instead. Player interact auto remove callback. Actually, let's do so that you can, no, wait, I don't know. Or actually, I don't think I need this. I could put the player interact move door. I'll just do so it affects both doors no matter which one you click on. Move door. Yeah, like that. So save. Now we're gonna do some small scripting. So I guess I could try to explain that. It might be a little more interesting instead of just me trying out and testing things. Let's see. We're gonna have to make a function void move door, which is basically the same thing as we have up there, up top, except yeah, string as in identity, string and in as entity. It's the same thing, except these are angular, but they're basically the exact same thing. So move door, string and in entity. So we want set move object state as entity, as well as entity underscore certain number. Actually, see, I could try something I have not actually done before, using a for loop, because a for loop is something I actually learned quite recently. Although I have read a lot about it, I'm starting to understand how they work now. And for loop basically repeats a certain thing for a certain amount of times. So if we do for, then parentheses, it's kind of like an if statement, but it's a for loop statement. It has three things inside, so it has two semicolons inside here. It has, if we do int I equals 0, and then we do that, that's basically the first part. So we're gonna make a new variable called I, which is just locally for this loop. It's called I, it's normally called I, it could be named other things. If you have two, they usually have int I and int j. That's normally what they have, or int x if they want to do that. But usually it's just int I because I is really short and they just use it for this particular loop. But we could call it, for example, int loop if we want that. But let's just do int I. And then the second is what needs to be met for this to loop, which means how many times it's going to loop. If it already has like an integrated if I equals or is less than or equal, actually let's just do less than 2, I think. If it's less than 2, because that means since it starts at 1, it starts at 0, it's going to do run through the 0, then run through 1, and then it's going to stop because it's 2. If you put equal, less than, and equal, like this, if you put less than, this is less than by the way, and equal, then it would run as long as int I is anything less than 2 but also 2, so it's inclusive with 2, but we only want it to repeat 2 times, so like that. And then put another semicolon, and the last part is what was the last part again? What was that last part again? It was the local variable, it was the thing that must be met, and I think it was what happened after. Yeah. It's what is done after this loop has ran within here. So if I do I++, that means it's going to add 1. I++ is basically short for I equals I plus 1. Or something like that. I think that was it. So that means I++ basically just means we don't even need spaces in here. We could compress everything together into one line without space, as long as but there must be a space there. As long as I++, I think that makes so that every time it's looped, it's going to start over, but this time I is going to be equal 1 instead. Okay, I don't know if I explained that well, but I'm gonna see if it works. So we're gonna set MoveObject state in here, and as entity plus quote underscore underscore plus. Actually, no, we need to, instead of doing the plus there, first we do pt underscore door underscore sandstone o under 0 plus quote underscore, no, not underscore, plus I. Yeah, because there's no, because basically pt door sandstone 0, this is the name of this one, pt door sandstone 01 under, oh yeah, 01 underscore 1, and this one is 01 underscore 2. So if I do pt door underscore the same name except for the last number, it's going to add that same number that is running through here. So actually would add this one would need to start at 1 and be less than 3, so there's a heart in there. And then the last state would be 1 for one of them, but the other one would be -1, I think. I don't know if this is gonna work. I think if I run the game now, I think basically it's going to make so that one door is going to rotate a different direction. I don't know, I feel like I explained this terribly, but let's see what happens. I'm kind of curious if it works. See? It worked, but they were rotating the wrong direction. But at least that's good news for me, because then I actually properly understand the for loop, which I'm kind of happy that I do. Actually, we don't need to close that, but we need to figure out if this state, if I can put negative in one of them or not. I'm not sure. For loop, basically, but instead of doing all this for loop, we can just do paste in there, set object move entity as entity. No, let's, instead of doing as entity, we just do the name of it. pt sandstone door, no, that was door sandstone. pt door sandstone 01 underscore 1, and the same thing here, underscore 02, except -1. So instead of doing this whole for loop, which you might not understand, this is basically the exact same output. So in this case, a for loop would be kind of unnecessary, because it wouldn't really decrease the code or anything, it would just make it look more advanced. So the door number 1 is going to rotate in the positive direction, the door number 2 is going to rotate in negative, because since they're the same, since this one is already rotated, because they're the same entity, you know, this one is just rotated like that, that means that negative plus, positive for both of them would be the direction they're facing, which is this way for one of the doors and this way for the other one, which basically is the same thing, whatever. So I think this would actually work. However, if you want the player to be able to close it again, which we can do, we can add an if statement, but we'll also need a variable. So we'll do we'll do bool open equals false, basically making a boolean, a true or false, whether to check the door if it's open. It's going to start out as false because the door is by default not open, so it's false, it's closed. And do if bool, actually not here, well, yeah, if bool, no, we don't need to put bool in there. If open, let's do something more descriptive. If door is open, bool door is open. If door is open, which would be a little easier to read, equals false, then run this script right here, basically opening the doors, and close the block, and then else if, actually I could do just, I don't actually know what else if or if, what the difference is right there. If door is open equals true, actually we need double equals here because they're comparing, forget about that, we need double equal signs there. If door is open equals true, it's going to do the same thing, except we're gonna swap the states they're gonna do. So this one's gonna do -1 and this one's gonna do +1 because they're gonna go back to where they were. So I think that actually works, and as long as this is not there to remove the callback, we already have it open. Reload the map. And click. Huh, it did not do anything to that door. Why did it not do that? Did I not put it on both doors? I think I did. Yeah, I did. PD door sandstone. Pool door is open, false. Let's move that one up here. I like to keep them outside blocks, which makes them more accessible, but I don't think that will make any difference. If it's false, which it is by default, set MoveObjects to open both of them. Else if, well, let's take away the else, just because I don't see the point. If it's true, however, then it's going to do the same thing. This one _1, this one's _2, and in the level editor, this one is named _2, _1, _2. Huh, I don't understand why it didn't work. I thought it would work. Only one of them opens. And it doesn't close again. Was it something with negative not working in these states? I thought I could rotate it negatively around the area. Let's just take away this by commenting it out. And actually, I don't think I need to do that. I think I know what the problem is, but I don't know what to do to fix it. Because as you can see, I can click on it, but nothing happens. I can click so that it's supposed to open the doors. One of them is going to be in one state, the other one in -1 state. See if I... No, actually that wouldn't work either. Because... perhaps I make a separate entity for the other door. I could do that. Maybe. But I don't see why it isn't working though, because I think you can put a move state, like a door. For example, a bookshelf, you can put it to -1 in state if you want to. Let's put this back to 0 and just test it with a shelf, because the shelves should work. So entity, gameplay, shelf secret door. This one has the same, it's the same move object, so it needs a state. Actually, if I don't put a state, it'll just rotate around the middle, which I don't mind. But I do need to just have player interact move object, which is the same function we have up there. So it's going to do move object to state 1. Yeah, let's test that. Even though I'll have to reload the game to test it again, but reload. Oh, gotta get out of here. And click. So as you can see, it moved. Actually, that's not the rotation shelf, but I don't know or if they work differently, but see if we put this value to -1 now, see if that works. Or if it's not going to do anything. Okay, it works, but that's because it's the angular one. If we change it into the rotation one, the underscore rot, save, reload map, let's click on it, nothing happens. But if I were to change this number to +1, then it's probably going to work. See? So what is the problem? Why can it not rotate in a negative direction? I actually don't understand why that is a thing. That's weird. Well, at least I found out what the problem was, but that's still really weird why that happens. But, I mean, I suppose I could make a different entity for it, but there should be a way to to get around this issue. I'm certain there should be. Come on. Thinking. This would have worked perfectly if that negative value would actually work. But how do I put it back? What if we put it to 0 into state 0? Does that put it back to... No, that shouldn't do anything. If we put this one to... Let's open up the model editor, go here, settings. It says here, angular and open amount, linear and angular, 1 equals 90, 0.5 equals 45. Any numbers between are okay, of course. And I think that if I do change, I shouldn't have deleted that bookshelf because we're testing with it. Place it back there. Save. If we do change this one to 0.5, I don't know if it's going to rotate only a certain amount or if it's going to rotate the whole way. Because I remember I had a lot of trouble with these kind of doors. Let's see, does it do anything? It actually does. What does 0 do? I would assume 0 does nothing. But perhaps 0 puts it back to state 0. Let's try that. Although it initially has to, one of the doors has to initially rotate the other direction. But let's put, let's take it with this, put it back, to check, and instead of putting this one to -1, we put it to 0, save. Oh, no. Go back here, open. This is how you debug things. This one doesn't do anything anymore. This door, does it do anything now? No matter what side I click on. No, it doesn't do anything. I would thought it put it back to state 0. So state 0 does nothing, state -1 does nothing, and state 1.5, for example, doesn't do anything either, if I remember correctly. Because it's like only values between 0 and 1 work. Because as you can see, it still only rotated 90 degrees, even though I put it above 1. So if you put it between, like, if you put it 0.5, it rotates 45. If you put it 1, rotates 90. If you put it 1.5, it still rotates 90. So that's a strange thing I had to work around. I think the only option I have is to make another entity for the other door. Well, it's not gonna take too much work, but it's a little annoying that I have to do that. It would be sweet if I could actually just move it back, rotate it back. But oh well. I'm getting kind of tired. So I suppose I'll just end the episode there. And hopefully this wasn't completely a waste of time, what I've been doing here. But We'll fix up this for the next episode. I'll probably just fix this on my spare time, and then we'll do something else for the next episode. Probably some other rooms or so. And I'll probably improve on some of the things around here. If you have any suggestions what I should do to make this seem a little more like an underground area, so it's like it's not just this place, something like with these towers, I feel like they're not enough to make you think that there is something below. If you have anything, then that would be sweet. If you have any suggestions, anywhere suggestions really, something with the lighting, if you know anything about the shadows, I don't know. The shadows are annoying. Let's delete that one. Save. Otherwise, any suggestions to anything in the story-wise, gameplay-wise, come with it and I'll read it, and if it sounds like something that could fit in, I will probably add it. So I think that would be it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will thank you for watching, and I will see you later.